This is CEMTV, reliable news and entertainment.
Worried about the state of your world? Need better and broader ideas? Stay tuned to CEMTV 24/7. Always thinking possibilities. CEMTV, reliable news and entertainment.
It is a very good morning to be with us here on CEMTV. The weather is great, the forecast is great, and most especially the day is great. I was about to say the day is bright. It's bright out there.
Oh, nostalgic. Oh my God, I love those days.
Exactly. So I think the best person to sing that song is the weather oracle herself.
Okay.
I mean, of course, the day is bright.
Today
It's you
not
that tells
promising
us
to be
now.
bright at all. Let's not even lie. I think only Abuja residents will enjoy some sort of brightness, but
Yeah.
to expect rain in Abuja. And then Kaduna, surprisingly, is going to come with thunderstorms. So, yeah, today is not that day that we sing today. Today is bright. Today is rain, go away, come again
another day.
Oh my God, I miss those days, you know. You don't have to worry about anything, just existing in the world.
Exactly.
Good morning, Tammy.
Good morning, Vera. And when I saw your weather forecast, I was like, oh well, it's not going to be a bright day. It's not going to be a bright day,
Yeah.
but it is a fair day as far as
Yeah,
I'm
it is.
concerned.
Yes,
It doesn't
it's
need
going
to be
to be.
bright to be a fair day.
Yeah.
But regardless, we're all here today. It is the second day in the month of July. So it is something to be happy about, something to smile about, something to celebrate. Of course, with things that are trending online, so many things trending online, but one of the things taking the center stage is the fact that the members of Sunday Igboho's Irueshin vigilante group happened to have a gunfight with bandits in the forest of Ibadan, and at the end of the day they accosted said vigilantes and brought them to the authorities. Now, there were many, talks about that, and many people sharing their opinions online, many people talking about how they feel about this current development. But of course, I'll allow you to see some pictures while we discuss what we think concerning this particular update. Now, you can see some of them laying down on the floor, and of course, the vigilantes had revealed that they had a gunfight with these individuals and, fortunately surpassed them in a firepower, and of course, overpowered them and arrested them. Now, Vera, some may consider this good news. Some may say, there's really nothing much to say about this. I mean, vigilantes were apprehended, kidnappers were stopped, and a problem that could have been, a problem that could have been started has been avoided. But the question that I would want to ask, and the view I would want to bring is, are vigilantes, recognized by the Constitution? And if we've gotten to a point where it's vigilantes like this that bring about results, I believe, was it a couple of weeks ago that the president sent out forest guards, and we've not heard any update. We've not heard that they accosted vigilantes. We've not heard that they overpowered vigilantes in a gunfight, which of course is important because it shows that we are well equipped, or more equipped than the vigilantes, than the vigilantes, because the vigilantes overpowered these individuals in a gunfight. So more equipped than the vigilantes, and more equipped more so than the bandits. But if we have vigilantes being the one bringing results concerning this insecurity in Nigeria, isn't it something that we should be concerned about?
Well, I think it's a good news regardless. As far as we know, vigilantes are closer to this forest than the police like the police are, or even the military are. These are places that they guard. The vigilantes are closer to these places. They know the routes even better. So at the end of the day, they are the forerunners of the people who would be able to help us to, apprehend this bandits or even terrorists as well. So it's a good thing. in my opinion. However, I wonder the danger that this does to the children in captivity. You know, that's my first worry, because of course there might want to be a punchback or something.
Yeah,
saying
of course.
that the main, at least one of the, you know, requests we've heard and that these bandits are requesting for, asking for, is a release of some of their members. So now more of their members have been arrested, and what does this mean for those children that are in the forest? We also know that they are very good at releasing videos and, you know, telling us what the updates are, and we're just hoping that somehow there will be a release of a video, you know. Hopefully these children and their teachers are safe. But talking about vigilantes being recognized in the Constitution, I think for that, we've had this conversation for a long time. We've had this, state police and all that conversation for a really long time. And I think that if we begin to see the good of them, it would enhance those conversations. You know, the House of Assembly will begin to have the conversations as well. And we might just take it further away from where it is that it is right now. But then kudos to, of course, the vigilante group, you know, that rescued, or okay, they didn't rescue, that apprehended this bandits. That's a good work. We just hope that, you know, they are recognized by the government and, you know, they are being equipped better to do more. But if they are not even being equipped, that they are able to lead the police or other paramilitary to this place and are able to solve the problem, or at least be able to rescue some of you know, kidnapped victims, especially the children who were kidnapped, you know, on the 17th of May. Yeah, so that would be my take. I think it's a good development.
Well, in as much as, you know, it is good news, like you said, that the people, the kidnappers and bandits, suspected kidnappers and bandits, have been apprehended. The way they, you know, carried out this process, it is overall constitutionally wrong. You know, one of the reasons I couldn't bring the video is because of the way they were treating the bandits. Yeah. You know, what they were doing was not recognized. It would be classified as torture in, you know, according to the Nigerian constitution. However, we've gotten to a point where the Nigerian people, this is what they want. This is what they're clamoring for. In the expose, it garnered thousands and thousands of comments. And with the little, you know, research I did and the calculation I did, you know, as of the time I saw the story, counting how many comments and how many of them were, you know, aggression to the bandits, and they were like, you know, would you treat any criminal like this? The majority, at least 80% of the comments, and that's the minimal amount. It was more than that. It was about 93%, 93 point something percent, because I had to count. I had to give a specific number, you know, of comments, about 100 comments, 200 comments. You know, I had to group them like that and say, okay, in the 100 comments, how many of them were, oh, give them to the appropriate authorities, and how many of them were like, you know, deal with them right then and there. You know, so in every grouping, it always came out to be nothing less than 70% of the comments saying deal with these individuals beyond what the law stipulates. Do you think this is an outcome of, you know, the lack of the government's response? Because there is due process to situations like this, due process and due punishment. For acts of terrorism, you can get the death penalty. But there is a due process. Investigation needs to be carried out, because as far as we're concerned, they're still suspected. You know, it hasn't been completely proven. So there is due process. But do you think the Nigerian government has failed so woefully in carrying out this due process? In the last time they had several bandits, they either rehabilitated them into the military, or they gave them new life skills, or they called them repentant bandits, and so on and so forth. Do you think the government has been so lackadaisical in addressing this situation with due process that the Nigerian people now are clamoring for violence?
Okay, so I think that what happens after this, now these vigilantes have caught this suspected bandits or terrorists that they are. Now, what happens? They are meant to like give these people over to the police, you know, and then the law takes its course from there. Now, it is what happens after they have handed these people over to the police that will say how lackadaisical our government have been. You know, I can.
But the people in the comments are saying that they shouldn't even hand them over to the police, because all the time that the authorities have had access of these individuals, they let them go.
Yeah, that's wrong to a very, very large extent, because obviously, no matter what, there are certain processes, just like you mentioned, that situations have to go through. The highest we can do is hold our government accountable, but does not mean that these processes cannot be, you know, should be for any reason thrown out of the window just because our government they are failing. It is important that we hold our governments responsible for the actions that they take. Now, what happens naturally is that when they catch these people, they hand them over to the authorities, and the authorities take it out from there. Now, the government owes a transparent process to how these people are being charged, what happens to them, you know, and you know, furthermore, you get, so if or when that doesn't happen, or if that doesn't happen, that's when we can say, oh, the government have failed us in entirety, because these are the ones that we have seen, these are the ones that we've heard, the ones that, you know, have happened before. Maybe the government have their own reasons for what they have done, but this one we have seen how bad it has been, what these people have done. Like, this is our own story, like this is what it is, and Nigerians want to see that it's going on here, you know. So if and when that action isn't being taken, you know, the government isn't doing something concrete about these people's arrest, or even maybe they get released, you know, that is when we can say that, okay, you know what, the government have really, really failed us. And even when we say the government have failed us, we cannot still say because of that we should waste these people, because it's going to create a lot of issues. Of course, anybody can just wake up and waste another person and say, oh, that person is a bandit. So we can't encourage that. What we can do is hold our government accountable, go for a protest, ask for whatever it is that we need to ask for these people to do the things that they need to do. You know, so while we are trying to make Nigeria better, we should also understand that Nigeria has processes, it has constitutions, and we must follow those constitutions and processes, because by the time we begin to pay less attention to that because we want to do it our way, it will create room for more problems. A lot of people would think that they have the hand to do whatever it is that they need to do. After all, we are all trying to, you know, survive individually instead of depending on the government to do the basic necessities for Nigerians. So in my thought process, they should hand over these people to the government, hand over to the authorities, and let's see what the authorities do from there.
Well, Vera has said it perfectly. These individuals should be handed over to the appropriate authorities so due process can be carried out. And in the situation where due process isn't carried out, these individuals are not tried according to the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, then I believe the people should speak up, because the acts that were perpetrated in this video, as honorable as they may be, as you know, much as they may have relieved the community of impending doom, they are still, you know, beyond what the Constitution allows. Hence, they are illegal, and hence they are a crime. So, to the Nigerian authorities, to the Nigerian government, do your job. It's when you don't do your job, another person will do your job for you. And the way they may carry out that job may not be the way you intended. So ensure that you do your job, give the people what they want, ensure justice is served, and we'll see less of issues like this. And even insecurity itself will be reduced to a minimum. That's the most we can take here on the online trends. Coming up next, of course, we will have the news surgery, and they'll be here to dissect some more outgoing issues, broad issues within the Federal Republic and beyond. So don't go anywhere, stay tuned. I remain Emmanuel Terminal Tenari, but you can call me Tammy for short. And of course, I've been doing it with the Air Weather Oracle, Vera Phillip.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you for having me.
It's always awesome doing the show with you. Don't go anywhere. CEMTV will be right back.